Welcome back to another episode of Goat Worthy Reactions, where we mainly like to focus on the goats on this channel. And today we are starting something very special, man. 10,000 days. Tool, we are finally here. We're finally here. I say finally. We just got here. We just got here. Shout out to all the new Patreon members. Really appreciate you guys motivating me and just giving me a lot of beautiful insight on the group, giving me a lot of intel. And I just want you to know that I screenshot most of it, copy it, put it on my notes tab, and I just got I got notes for every classic act that I react to. So the Tool one is jam packed with information. You guys are catching up to the Elvis notes. Trust me, it's crazy. But anyways, we're starting today with Vicarious. I'm doing a lyric video because I was told that a lot of the times it's hard to understand them. So I actually have the lyrics pulled up, and I'm a hip hop guy, so I really care about lyrics. So, and Maynard is such a proficient writer. I love him. He's a genius as far as writing, right? I'm still learning instruments and stuff like that. So give me grace when it comes to that, please. Let's do this though, man. I got the lyrics pulled up. I got the lyric video pulled up. Let's spiral out. Beautiful start. Building up. The anticipation is crazy. Oh my God, that's beautiful. Yeah. Oh my God. Hypocrisy. Yo, Maynard, how do you do this, brother? How do you do this? How do you do? He said, why don't you just admit? I gotta go back to the beginning of those lyrics, man. Oh my gosh. First of all, I just want to talk about the intro for a second. I'm a sucker for intros. For all you who know, I'm a big Eminem fan, and he, early on in his career, he used to do these dramatic intros from White America to Soldier to Till I Collapse, lose yourself. Like, he used to the first 45 seconds to a minute long in rap, that's not common. That's why I always thought Eminem was so ballsy, because he would take those risks. Because why? They were artistic decisions. And here with Tool, I see the same thing happening, which is why I say, like, I'm not have no shame in saying this is my favorite band right now. It's because of the correlation of not hip hop and rock, but more so the artistic decisions to make these ballsy moves. I think that's what I loved about M. I loved M. Yeah, he was the best rapper ever. Yeah, I know that. And he still is the best rapper ever. But but more so was his artistic decisions. They were always ballsy, different, and not like anyone else. And I feel like Tool, man, they stand out. It's like you got innovators, you got people who set trends, but then you have Tool, people who pretty much they do what others are not doing. It's not to say they're doing something better than anybody. It's not to say that they're doing something, that's so cool and trendy. It's more so we want to do something that you cannot emulate. You can't copy this. And I think that's way more ballsy than what most people do. So I just got to show that intro love because, yeah, that's what it did for me. So he says, eye on the TV because tragedy thrills me. Whatever flavor it happens to be like. Killed by the husband, drowned by the ocean, shot by his son. She used a poison in the tea, then kissed him goodbye. First of all, man, just the storytelling he's doing right now. And it's not storytelling, it's more of a narration type of situation, which is my favorite. What stands out here to me, I'm gonna say, is more so how casually these like horrific headlines are just being listed, like the way he's describing them. He's being a little nonchalant about it, and I think that's purposeful because he's calling out the hypocrisy of the viewers, of the masses, the people out there, right? Now, there's so many ways I can interpret this, but I'm not gonna jump the gun until I hear a little more. But it's almost like this is like a menu of just chaotic options, and I think, and obviously I think that's the point, but it's showing how tragedy gets, I guess, packaged for consumption for us, and these aren't just being treated like real human losses at the end of the day. It's like the weight and grief is attached to them, yes, but they're being pretty much reduced to different flavors, he says, flavors of shock value more so, right? And on the first listen, when I first took it in, I'm so close to running it back, but I know the song is long, so I don't want to do that. But just trying to interpret the lyrics, it feels like a commentary, almost like how he's trying to explain how desensitized people get when pain is constantly fed through a screen. So the horror is real, but the delivery of it becomes entertainment. Kind of sick. It's no fun till someone dies. I mean, man, that was that line right there really it changed the song. It changed the tone of the song for me, because this is where I feel like the song stopped being subtle. He's basically at this point exposing, the ugly appetite behind it all, right? So that's my kind of story. It sounds a little twisted, but on purpose. And I think that's important to understand the intention of something being intentional and something being by just, I don't want to say accident, but just something just being not intentional. So there's a difference, because in here, he's forcing you to confront the fact that sensationalism sells as opposed to, sex sells, which is the common model that people either live by in Hollywood or swear to. But technically, sex sells is under sensationalism. And this is what he's talking about: sensationalism. He's talking about, the darker it is and just the more attention it gets, and so the line feels like, I guess, it feels less like a confession from one random person to, another, and feels more like an indictment on a whole culture that pretty much just pretends to be disturbed by tragedy while still being deeply drawn into it. The TikTok, the Instagram, the YouTube, and then we're just scrolling. We're just fed. And I think that's why he started with, eye to the TV. He's talking about, it's crazy because this came out in 2006, I believe. I could be wrong on that. But just the fact that it's more relevant today than it was whenever he wrote this. It's more relevant today because the issues he's talking about, the topics he's talking about, those things have gotten dramatically worse, right? They've gotten more worse. And things are gonna, it's like he writes with the idea that things are gonna get worse before they get better, and he writes with that mindset. So not that he can be relative to the fact of trendy in the future, but so that his words can have further impact, because what artists seem to do is write in the moment, and he seems to be writing a little bit of a foreshadow sense of thinking. And I mean, that's the genius of Maynard, dog. That's like a common theme so far, 4 songs deep, and that's what's common to me. He writes futuristically, and that's straight up genius. Don't look at me like I'm a monster. This feels like the narrator now, he's turning the mirror back on the audience, on us, on the viewers. And he's basically saying, like, don't act disgusted by me, right? Don't act disgusted by me when you're feeding, you're feeding on the same thing. So he's calling out the hypocrisy here. And that's what makes this, I feel like, don't look at me like a monster. That's what makes this line powerful, because he's calling out hypocrisy, yes, but people love to separate themselves from darkness, right? They like to do that, and I mean like in a morality type of way. Everybody wants to feel like they're on this high horse, right? But at the end of the day, they still consume it. They still binge it. They replay it. They talk about it all day. They pay for it, and they just stare at it. Right? They just stare at it. So that really reads almost like he's saying, from his point of view, like, hold on, don't demonize me for saying out loud what everybody's quietly thinking. You know what? No, not even quietly thinking, but what everybody's quietly participating in. It's more than just I'm saying what I'm gonna say what everybody's scared to think. No, he's actually saying what you're freaking doing, you little nasties, you little fakies, right? And I feel like this is a weird way, hear me out, to like call out the religious freaks, the people who are just obsessed with certain ideas that they can't necessarily prove or don't even necessarily believe in, right? And I'll say that as a Christian, because I know a lot. You know what's worse? What's worse is someone who pretends to be a goody two Christian and walks a certain path and then spits on those he or she believes is beneath them, when those people, someone like Maynard, is actually more honest. And actually, you know what? God is more fond of individuals who are honest, because at the end of the day, you can look squeaky clean for everybody, but it ain't gonna mean nothing, because God knows what you're doing. He knows what you're up to, and there's no secrets between you and him. So someone like Maynard, he would look at and be like, he's intentionally walking honestly. I can work with that. That's what God's thinking. I can work with that. Not that I know what God's thinking, but hands to the sky crying, why, oh, why? This section feels like a direct shot at the, spectacle of just modern media, everything that we consume every day, how it can like just deed in compassion. It's just all bullcrap. It's the imagery. Right? It's all imagery for them. And this is what they use. This is the type of symbolism they use. But the imagery that Maynard's painting right now is pretty cold. And like I said, it's cold on purpose. People staring at suffering all day. Like, just think about what's on your Instagram feed. Like, that you're staring at this we're like addicts, right? We're addicted to it. We're addicted to the social media. We need another hit of chaos. Like, that's our addiction. It's just crazy. And he's calling it out, and I respect that. And what makes it darker is really just the emotional contradiction that he's pointing out. People watch the pain unfold, right? And then they throw their hands up afterwards, like they're shocked. They're shocked, right? They're shocked by what they just consumed, as if they don't love it. He's more so saying like, you're living a fake life. Everything you're doing, it's not going to lead you. If you really believe in this God that you believe in, guess what? Even I know you ain't headed to see him. You ain't heading to see him. So like, I feel like that's the mockery of it. This is to me, this is respectful mockery. Because he's mocking the people and their fake ideas, not God himself or anything like that. But yeah, vicariously I live while the whole world dies, and that's the line right there, right? This is one of the core ideas right there of the whole entire song. So we like to watch this catastrophe unfold from the couch. You know what I'm saying? And feel alive because somebody else is in danger instead of you. Right? Better you than me. That's like our mindset. Better you than me, which is crazy. And no matter how, selfless you think you are, this deep, dark selfishness that lives in you, and it's your natural born, sinister flesh that wants to be fed. I'm challenging myself in this very moment, because Maynard is pushing his pen, but his pen is pushing my mind. Like, I'm actually thinking in ways I don't think I've thought in a long time. Like, this is how I think when I'm reading scripture. Like, this is the levels he's taking me to, because people like Maynard existed in those biblical times. I mean, he's a special dude, more than the behavior. Damn, I've been talking for a while. Oh, damn, my fault. Sheesh, man. But this is like, I don't think I've ever felt like this in a long time. I'm sorry. All right, let's get back to the track. I love that. Ooh, I like that. So unorthodox. I need to hear that again. That's crazy. That is crazy. There it goes. That's crazy. Ooh, that was fire. I got to talk about the instrumentation because I feel like the beat, the production has stepped up kind of crazy at this point. And I wish I can get into more detail, right? I wish I can get into more detail about the production and what's actually happening. It's actually killing me quite a bit. It's actually killing me because the production is so stellar, and I know it is. I can hear it, and I can just tell you right now. I did find a rhythm though. The rhythm for all you new. I'm not gonna talk to the Tool fans because they already know what's going on. But for all you new members to the Tool Army, if you're wondering how do you bob your head, or all you hip hop guys who are now listening to Tool, if you're wondering how to bob your head to Tool, it's not like this. It's like this, and you'll always be on beat. You got to bobblehead it. You got to bobblehead it. You're always on beat. You're always going to, because the whole point is once you get off beat, you get off beat once you miss the snare. Once you miss the snare, you're off beat now. That's how hip hop heads think. We need the snare in order to know where we're at. And I just feel like this is the snare right here. Just do this and you won't miss. That was the most normal the beat ever been. Oh, that's amazing. Wow. Bro, Oh, it's almost over? Shit. Oh, 2 for 2. Yo, 2 for 2. 2 for 2 on that. Much better you than I. I literally said that. Maybe in the beginning. I don't even remember when I freaking said that. Maybe in the beginning or maybe towards the middle. I don't remember what he even said that triggered that thought, but I feel like that was a theme at some point in the video. Did I just freaking think it? Did I actually say it? Or did I think it? Oh. Now, if I didn't say it, when I edit it, I'll go back and see. But if I didn't say it, I'm gonna be mad as hell. I was thinking it for like 3 times, but I was like, oh, I gotta let the verse finish. I can't piss off the 2 fans too much. I gotta at least let them finish the verse and a bridge, and then I'll talk for 5 minutes. But damn, he said better you than I. Just want to hear that last part again one more time. Wow. And it's crazy because it's literally the last line in the song. That's the crazy part. I don't know what part it was that made me think of that, man. Oh, man. I don't know. Part vampire, part warrior. What was he getting into? It feels like he's describing like a dual, part vampire, part warrior. So it's like a dual nature almost, right? One side feeds off of chaos, and the other actively seeks it. he's like a Shakespeare type of guy, man. I don't even know if he realizes how philosophical he could be at times just through lyrics alone, right? Theological at the same time, because he builds like some type of a like biblical presence for all to not relate to, but to all acknowledge that there's something big. He writes with a sense that something bigger than him is pushing this message out, and it's important for you all to listen. That's kind of like the vibes I get when I listen to him. Honestly, I'm not even joking. But because it's not just it's not just passive consumption anymore. It's like they're both sides, this dual nature. They're both craving. They're either both craving and participating in it, right? Almost like people are somewhat hardwired to be drawn to violence while also fueling the flame or flaming the flame, right? This is my favorite. He said part vampire, part warrior, carnivore, and voyeur. It's just like, bro, if he would have rapped this verse, it would have been just as good. It probably would have been better, honestly, because it gets, even with carnivore, voyeur, like he was kind of setting us up for that theme, because now it got a little darker. But this is someone, though, you got to think about it. This is someone who both consumes and watches. That's the duality that he painted for us. So we got to keep that in mind. It's highlighting that people are just like this. They don't just observe tragedy. No, they benefit from it emotionally, almost like it feeds something inside of them. I feel like I used to be this kind of person that he's talking to. I think I'm still this person he's talking to. Not to the extent, like, I feel like I've worked on myself enough, but this is naturally inside of me, though. It's that uncomfortable truth, right? And I couldn't even deny it just now. I just tried to deny it. You heard that? Oh, I used to be like this, and then I had to check myself, because that's what truth will do. It'll slap you in the freaking face, and you got to hold yourself accountable sometimes. And just people just watching suffering, and it can become a form of stimulation for some. I guess that's like what his main point was. But sing to the death rattle. Just these certain lines he says, it just like blows my mind that he came out with this. Sing to the death rattle. You can't tell me this doesn't paint like a disturbing image of just being present at the very edge of someone's life and just almost celebrating it. Isn't that what people do? Like, think about it. Instead of like responding with compassion or like willingness to change the outcome, there's this like eerie detachment, as if death becomes background noise for us and we're waiting to see the blood. And like we wait until it's really extreme and then we have compassion. Like when death actually comes, now we're like, oh my God, RIP, and then it's on to the next one. So the message is actually it reinforces how normalized destruction, right? Like we've been saying all day, can actually become constant just exposure. And guess what? Everybody else, if all the other media markets see that's what people are feeding off, everybody's gonna get down with it. He said we won't give a pause until the blood is flowing. Now, I guess that was like a bridge or something like that. Your desire to believe in angels in the hearts of men. I really like that, right? Because it felt a little scripture right there. So this feels like challenging more so the idea that people are naturally good. Like, yeah, and scripture tells us we're not naturally good. So I'm with you on this one, Maynard. He ends it with much better you than I. So that's really like the coldest realization right there. Great way to end it too, because it's like that relief that's like suffering. It isn't yours. There's an unspoken, I guess, gratitude that someone else is the one experiencing it. These people won't admit this. They won't admit that they won't admit this is true. They won't admit that they actually feel this way. And I got to tip my hat off to him because he sees it. He's so ahead of his time too. I got to look this up. If this actually came out in 2006, it's gonna blow my freaking mind. I guess what makes the whole message uncomfortable but real, it's literally the honesty and how he goes about it. It's the honesty, and I respect him for that, man. We're on a tool journey right now. This has been the most, exhilarating at the same time, thought-provoking at the same time, most spiritually bound that I've ever been when trying to consume these lyrics, because consuming these lyrics feels almost like consuming life itself from a mind wiser than mine. That's what it feels like. And I'm sure I butchered this thing up, and I'm gonna have to clean this up in the edits and stuff like that, because I was thinking for too long at certain points. So if there's cuts, it's because I was sitting here dumbfounded, trying to think of what to say, because I just feel like I don't want to do his lyrics a disservice. So I'll say this though, this has been the most challenging I've ever had faced as far as like breaking down lyrics. I'm not trying to break down his lyrics. I don't know what he means. I'm just giving you my opinion of what his lyrics make me feel. So never get too offended. Like, oh, that's not what he means. I've already had a few Tool fans tell me that. That's not what he means. He means this. You don't even know Maynard. You Christian freak. So anybody see that comment? I don't delete them. I leave them in there. I think it's on the pot or Pneuma. I think it was on Pneuma, because it was like that whole the Greek word for pneuma, it's spirit and breath. And like, it was like something that happened within that. And I think I said something spiritual. I don't know. Hey, it is what it is. Can't please everybody. But anyways, y'all. This is the beginning of the Patreon journey. If you made it this far, congratulations. You're either a tier 2, tier 3 member. This album, I don't know how many songs are on this album. I got to double check. But half the album will be on tier 2. Half the album of the full album will be on tier 3. And I think like 3 of them are going to go to YouTube so that I can alert them that we're actually doing the album on Patreon, just for promotional purposes, just to bring more people over to the community and the Tool chat. And, we all can spiral out together. So I don't know what the spiral out thing is. I'm still waiting to learn. I'm going to figure it out at one point. Maybe someone's going to tell me in the comment section. I've just been using it because Tool fans have been saying it to me. So I'm like, okay, cool. I kind of like it. I kind of like this little slogan. But anyways, join us on Patreon. Join us in the Tool Army chat room. Get up in there. You don't need to pay. You could be a free Patreon member. I have it open. The Patreon's open for all members. We can communicate. You communicate with me. You communicate with other people in the Tool Army. We're building. And when you finally feel like you need to bump up a tier 1, 2, or 3, get up in there. And tier 1 gets everything that goes to YouTube ahead of time. So that's a little breakdown of everything that's going on. But anyways, I'm tired, man. I got to do one more actually. No, I'm going to wait till tomorrow. Because I'm kind of shot. I'll wait till tomorrow. We out.